Jaypee said that some part of the interest until the unit is being delivered will be paid by Jaypee.
उस EMI में एक्चुअल में EMI वर्ड था, EMI था ही नहीं, वो टोटली इंटरेस्ट था.
This amount has been given to the developer, that is JEL, around more than 1900 crore rupees.
In the simple word, it is atrocious and unfortunate that homebuyers are taken for ride in a very large scale by all the banks.
The houses around the racing F1 racing track, rows of trees and parks, all those jazzy typical things that one gets enticed by. I was.
It doesn't feel like that we're ever going to get it. It's been a struggle for 14 years. I don't know.
Kassia, the Jaypee housing project in Jaypee Green's Sports City, Greater Noida. Once envisioned as a high-profile residential complex, Kassia now stands as a haunting reminder of broken promises. The partially constructed buildings, abandoned and lifeless, tell the story of shattered dreams of thousands of home buyers. Kassia is among the Jaypee projects currently under the radar of Central Bureau of Investigation. The agency has registered 22 cases to investigate a suspected nexus between banks and builders. Acting on the directives of the Supreme Court of India, the CBI conducted raids at 47 locations across the National Capital Region. For the buyers of Kassia, hope has faded. What was once a dream home has turned into a prolonged nightmare buried under the layers of legal and financial uncertainty.
Back in 2011, Jaypee was a big name then, and with the kind of marketing that they did, and indeed it did sound lucrative, the houses around the racing F1 racing track, and a very elite kind of a setup where you would have rows of trees and parks, all those jazzy typical things that one gets enticed by. I was.
Yeah, we were quite young and this was our first home. There were a lot of emotions. Of course, it was our first home. We have put in whatever savings we had that time.
Me and my wife together started our careers in 2005, and all our savings, most of our parents' savings, both sides, was invested into this, either for the upfront payment or for the EMI, so that the burden of interest doesn't accumulate too much.
I mean, there were lots of hopes, like maybe after this we'll buy a bigger car and all those things, but it never happened because we were still paying double the amount. Rent and the mortgage, both, it was too much. We were living in a small apartment. We wanted to move to a bigger apartment, but we couldn't do it because the rents were higher and we couldn't afford it that time because we were paying double amount. So yeah, we did postpone it for around 6-7 years, I believe, yes, just to be able to survive and save up enough money so that we can afford it.
See, that house was nowhere near the picture, and I had to, with the EMI of that house going, I couldn't afford another house. So Up until 2018, 7 years, I stayed in a small flat. We aspired to stay in a decent sized flat. One that was like that, couldn't afford. The lifestyle. We could have had a better lifestyle.
First of all, it's a financial loss for us. We were paying mortgage, we were also paying rent. Apart from that, it was mental anguish. A lot of opportunities that we missed because we were paying on something else. Yeah, everybody was celebrating their first home. Every day we will get sweets at my desk kind of thing, but we were still waiting for our home. So yeah, it was quite unpleasant at that time.
February or March 2011, we booked the flat, Sector 128 office. There were people from the banks also, and of course the builder. I was one who was told to connect with the ICICI person, and I was promised that it will be done in 2 years plus 6 months as a grace period. There was a fine print somewhere that the possession may get delayed, but you have to pay still after 2 years. They never shared what is being done between the builder and the bank. It's very difficult and a fearful concept to get into the tangles of law. The fear that I had was if I did not pay the EMI, I might get into legal troubles. We went to RERA, we went to Allahabad High Court, we went to Supreme Court, and multiple cases in Supreme Court. Then we did also reach to the local authorities. I've lost count how many cases, multiple cases we've gotten involved in. How is that fair? You keep running from one post to another post to another, and still somebody who has done all the wrongs, because they have money, they can come with a better weapon, legal weapon. Bad as it is.
To be honest, it seems like a lost money. It doesn't feel like that we're ever gonna get it. It's been a struggle for 14 years. I don't know.
Somebody, a salaried class, they rely on their savings. All are eroded. All. Even if today, if you ask me how much do I have in my bank, negligible. Cheated at all aspects, I must say. In terms of money, in terms of plans that I had, if I had gotten that flat, then other financial planning would have been the way I had initially thought, but it didn't happen.
I mean, I don't know how can someone do that to another human being.
If this collusion wouldn't have been there between the banks and the builder, either I would have gotten my flat or I wouldn't have paid the entire amount and cleared the dues, despite seeing that there is nothing out there.
A full floor lies submerged underwater at Kove. Yet another Jaypee project now under CBI scanner. Located in the same Jaypee Greens sports city, the site shows no signs of activity. Construction has come to a complete standstill. Buyers have no choice but to come, witness the plight and wait for what now seems to be a distant dream.
अगस्त 2012 में हमने अपना एक फ्लैट बुक कराया था और जिसकी कंसिडरेशन वैल्यू जो है 42 लाख के आसपास थी, जिसमें से यहाँ एक ऑफ़र करा गया कि आप सबवेंशन स्कीम जो है 15% आप पे करो और 85% जो है बैंक पे कर देगा। और ये चकाचौंध था क्योंकि उस टाइम यहाँ फार्मूला 1 बिल्कुल रेडी था, चल रहा था। यहाँ बहुत बढ़िया एक अच्छा लोकेशन था। तो हमने अपने रिटायरमेंट के लिए कि जो है हम वैशाली छोड़ के और रिटायरमेंट के टाइम हम यहाँ आ जाएंगे और बहुत अच्छा जो है वो रहेगा। हमने 2.5 लाख रुपये जो है बुकिंग अमाउंट दी। उसके बाद एक 6.5 लाख रुपये के एक अदर अमाउंट दिया। उसके बाद बैंक ने हमें 34 लाख का लोन सैंक्शन किया। सबवेंशन स्कीम जो है, जो CLP स्कीम है, उससे महंगा होता था, लेकिन हम बैंक फैसिलिटी की वजह से कि उसमें हमें 2 साल ब्याज नहीं देना था, 24 महीने, तो हम पे कोई बर्डन नहीं था। इस वजह से हमने इस स्कीम को अडॉप्ट कर लिया।
We invested through Subvention scheme. We took a loan from ICICI Bank. This flat was something around 37 lakhs. That time we paid 37 lakhs. But if we also include our interest on EMIs, the total money which we have paid to bank comes to close to 67 lakhs. For last 14 years, not a single unit has been delivered to any of the home buyer in the Kove.
Under the subvention scheme, buyers pay just 10 to 20% upfront in the beginning. After that, it is the banks that step in, releasing the rest of the loan amount directly to the builder. But this happens bit by bit, depending on how much construction has actually happened. The builder is then responsible for paying the EMIs until possession is handed over to the buyer. However, in several cases, builders allegedly defaulted on their EMI obligations, breaching the terms of the tripartite agreement. Instead of pursuing the builders, banks reportedly began demanding EMI payments from the home buyers to cover the dues.
Jaypee said that some part of the interest until the unit is being delivered will be paid by Jaypee. For 24 months, they will pay the interest and they will deliver the unit in 24 months.
उस EMI में एक्चुअल में EMI वर्ड था, EMI था ही नहीं, वो टोटली इंटरेस्ट था। हालांकि उसकी ट्राइपार्टी एग्रीमेंट हुई हमारे बिल्डर और बैंक के बीच, लेकिन कहीं ये मेंशन नहीं है कि हमें EMI देना, बैंक जो बिल्डर जो है EMI देगा या ब्याज देगा। लेकिन जो बाद में बैंक का स्टेटमेंट आया तो उसमें सिर्फ जो है वो ब्याज का पोर्शन आ रहा है, हमारे स्टेटमेंट में कहीं नहीं आ रहा है।
ऐसा genuine and as a simple and as a honest buyer, you see the project is coming, you see it's a big brand, you see there is a big bank backing you. How can you doubt all those things? All these questions are coming after 10 years.
2 साल हमारा चला गया, उसके हमारी प्री EMI चालू हो गई, हमने पे करते रहे कि हमें तो 42 मंथ में मिल ही जाएगा। जब 42 मंथ में नहीं मिला, हमने इंक्वायरी करी, यहाँ आए। जब हमने यहाँ आए तो हमने देखे कि जो बिल्डिंग की कंडीशन हमने 2012 अगस्त में देखी थी, वही जो है वो 42 महीने बाद भी, 3.5 साल बाद भी वही कंडीशन थी, उसी तरीके के पानी में था और कोई काम नहीं हो रहा था। कि जब हमने इंक्वायरी करी कि बैंक हमें ये बताए कि बिल्डर ने वो 2 साल का पैसा दिया कि नहीं दिया, तो बैंक हमें बताने में मना किया, हम आपको नहीं शेयर करेंगे।
I think in 2019, Jaypee Associates started having financial problems. What we heard at that time was Jaypee has invested the money taken by the home buyers and the money taken by the banks for the purpose of developing the Jaypee Sports City. He invested his money into his other businesses. He also defaulted on payment to Yamuna Expressway Authority, which is the actual owner of the land and who has given this land to Jaypee for a lease of 99 years. When Jaypee started defaulting on the Yeda's money, Yamuna Authority gave him around 6 to 7 notices. Yeda cancelled the lease and then Jaypee filed a case against the cancellation of the lease, but the development in the entire area was stopped. He has also taken loan from the banks on the same properties, because of which he has got financial problems.
And as far as development authorities are concerned, let us take an example. A recent CAG audit has uncovered massive financial lapses by the Greater Noida Industrial Development Authority between 2005 and 2018. Key findings include Rupees 19,500 crore loss due to defaults in land premiums, lease rents and interest across industrial, residential and commercial categories. Another Rupees 13,362 crore loss from short recoveries, undue benefits to allottees and avoidable expenditure. Although GNIDA was set up to drive industrial growth, the CAG notes a shift in priorities. By September 2019, only 67% of industrial land was developed, while residential land development exceeded to 104%, more than the planned limits. For home buyers, the situation is equally troubling. Just 27 out of 186 housing projects were completed by 2021. Builder dues crossed Rupees 10,732 crore.
इंक्वायरी करी, बैंक को हमने नोटिस दिया, एक लीगल नोटिस दिया कि हमारा पोजीशन वो मिल नहीं रहा है आप। तो बैंक ने कि लीगल डिपार्टमेंट से मेरे पास उसका जो रिप्लाई आया वो बड़ी अजीब था कि उसमें ये लिखा हुआ है कि जो प्रोजेक्ट का ड्यू डिलिजेंस करना था वो होम बायर की ड्यूटी थी। अब हमें पोजीशन वहाँ नहीं मिला, हमने चेक बाउंस कर दिया। बैंक ने हम पे जो है केस डाला, DRT में हमें ले गया। बिल्डर कहने लगा 2019 के बाद जब हम जाएं तो कि जी आपकी तो वो वहाँ की पूरी लैंड जो है, एंटायर लैंड है, वो कैंसिल हो चुकी है, उस पर अभी हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते जब तक इलाहाबाद कोर्ट का कोई ऑर्डर नहीं आता। 2012 से आज 2025 13 साल हो गए।
We have been fighting the case in Allahabad court. Allahabad court has given a verdict in favor of YEDA and Homebuyers. YEDA needs to complete these projects and give to Homebuyers, and they will not charge any additional money or any escalation price from the Homebuyers.
यहाँ हमने जो भी अपनी लाइफ की सेविंग था उसको यहाँ लगाया, चाहे वो बैंक के थ्रू लगाया या मैंने पे किया, वो यहाँ लगाया कि हमारी रिटायरमेंट, क्योंकि हम लोग प्राइवेट जॉब में थे, एक तरीके से पेंशन स्कीम थी हमारी, और वो ख़त्म हो गई।
Once we have our money stuck up in Jaypee, we have to take education loans for our children's education. Some of the money we have thought that we will spend for at the time of the marriage of our kids, and some of the money would have been used as our retirement fund. So all that hard-earned money of middle class has been wasted here, and we are in too much of trouble.
13 साल हो गए, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, पानी में डूबा हुआ है। इसका स्ट्रक्चर अब अलाउ करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, ये इशू है।
When the projects are delayed, the home buyer is going on paying so-called EMI to the bank, and the builder is not concerned in the sense that he is not financially implicated or impacted at all, and in the process home buyers are at lurch because neither they got their homes, at the same time they are paying continuously the EMI to the banks. And that is why Justice Suryakant's bench of the Supreme Court had taken cognizance of it in April, probably 27th or 29th April this year, and thereafter they issued notices and called that, look, this need an investigation by none else than CBI. And thereafter, as you know, the Additional Solicitor General of India was requested, and CBI is carrying on the investigation regarding the subvention scheme, etc., etc.
In the agreement, it was mentioned developer will take the entire responsibility of making the payment of the EMIs and other till the completion of the project. Now, once this tri-party agreement is there between the banks, builder, and the home buyers, now a situation has come wherein, because the banks have disbursed the entire amount, almost 90% of amount has been disbursed, and the home buyers are made to pay it, even though the construction is not complete, even the approval is not given by the development authority.
Whenever a builder-buyer agreement is there, they are all asked to sign on the dotted lines. It is heavily loaded in favor of the builder. It works is very simple. It is a tripartite agreement. On one end, the poor home buyer, then the builder, and the bank. One of the first case of this kind we did was Amrapali, where the judgment was probably pronounced somewhere in July 2019 by Justice Arun Mishra's bench. And Justice Arun Mishra had categorically stated that there is a nexus between the Noida, Greater Noida on one side, the banks on the other side, and the builders. In that case, of course, Amrapali was involved. I, in one of the interview of yours itself, probably had said there is a fourth one, that is the politician. Because but for the support or the wishes of the politician, this kind of a huge scam would not have taken place. So according to me, these are the four parties, and unfortunately, none of the finance ministry of the earlier government or the present government is taking the serious cognizance which it is required to have done.
In all of the Jaypee projects, there are around 4,500 buyers. All the projects have the same fate. Not a single unit, not a single plot delivered so far. Banks have given a large sum to Jaypee Associates for building this particular project. But they have not done any due diligence after giving the loan.
Collectively, if Kove and Kassia is concerned, it must be around 700 crores. Around 700 crore amount must be involved. But if you see, there are various other group housing projects. There are total 10 projects which were launched in this sector 25 of YEDA, this special development zone, Jayprakash Associates Limited. Now what happens that around 700 crore of these two projects and around 1900 crore plus for the other projects have already been, Homebuyers have already, this amount has been given to the developer, that is JEL, around more than 1900 crore rupees. And for in particular about JEL and YEDA, in particular about Kove and Kassia, it must be around 700 crores. Bank funding must be around 350 to 400 crores.
Almost all the nationalized banks and the big private banks all are involved in this, because it is a scam of more than 20,000 crore. In the simple word, it is atrocious and unfortunate that home buyers are taken for ride in a very large scale by all the banks. And so it is a nexus, as Justice Suryakant of the Supreme Court had rightly said, it is a nexus between the bank, the builder or developer, and the authorities. Because all the three had seen to it that, as you know, whatever the subvention scheme has been formulated behind the back of the home buyers, they were asked to sign on the dotted lines, and thereafter the money have been siphoned off very easily and very conveniently.